To track very strong Hurricane Emily. Emily now a Category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale with winds up to 115 miles per hour. They've been experiencing hurricane conditions all along the Outer Banks from around Ocracoke Island and particularly Cape Hatteras on to the north. Let's go ahead and show you first of all the satellite vantage point. I wanted to show you exactly where we're looking here. All right, there it is, and you can see how the eye continues to move up along the coast. Again, just clipping the Outer Banks. The eye itself never really making a landfall, but the western edge of it, the eye wall, if you will, with very strong winds, very heavy rains. Cape Hatteras has had over 6 inches of rain today, so that may cause some flooding. There's been some sound flooding there as well. Conditions have been deteriorating farther up the coast as well, and that's where our Dennis Smith is. He is located at Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. The eye passing just offshore there now, Dennis.
It certainly is, and we're still seeing the winds coming around from the northeast that we had earlier about 6 o'clock tonight to our current position where it looks like they're blowing almost out of due north right now, and we continue to experience winds on up into the 60s to near hurricane force. I think it's backed off just a little bit from what we had over the last hour. The surf continues to pound. It's going to be awfully hard to see. We're going to show you what our beach looks like now. We've been tracking it all evening long. We're at high tide right now. This is the highest point we're going to see, and they continue to come in and eat away at that beach. A lot of beach erosion taking place. A lot of white foam out there as very churned up, angry ocean continues to bubble up with the effects of Hurricane Emily so close now to the shoreline, and that will continue to work its way towards the north. Right now, meteorologically speaking, though, we have probably had our peak winds on up to hurricane force. We're probably at that right now, or just a little bit below that, and we continue to see the wind shift back around from a northeast direction, coming back around to the north.
Any signs of life there at all, Dennis? I know most people have evacuated or are pretty much battened down, but any people wandering about?
Yeah, we've had a few people, thrill seekers out to see what the hurricane is like. There's been a few people driving around, and we're hopefully going to have a little bit later on in this hour some scenes of the last hour as one of our photographers, Randy Frostick, was out and about. In fact, he described to us one of the houses that was close to the ocean itself actually collapsed and went on into the ocean. So we'll be showing that to you in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Dennis Smith, reporting live from Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Right now, let's take a look at some tidal frames. I want to talk about high tiding. Now, this is especially important with any hurricane, but particularly since we're coming into an astronomical high tide. It is the full moon, so the tides might be expected to be a little higher than normal. Again, this is Tuesday evening now. Oregon Inlet, which is just south of Dennis. Again, the high tide, as Dennis was stating, is just about right now. Farther on up toward Hampton Roads and the Virginia Beach area, high tide again within the next hour or two, and Ocean City around this time as well. Let's go on into tomorrow morning. Again, the high tide's expected up at Hampton Roads and Ocean City around 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. That'll also exist on up along the Jersey Shore and the southern areas of New England. So again, not only tonight, but as Emily moves farther on to the north, we may have to worry about some tidal flooding as well. Already some reports of beach overwash as far north as Fire Island out on Long Island, New York. Let's take a look at the particulars of Emily. Again, well, it's 100 miles south-southeast of Virginia Beach, and if we're still locating it near Hatteras, it's about 35 miles northeast of Hatteras now. Moving north at 13 miles per hour, so it has picked up in some speed. Pressure still very low, and wind still very strong at 115 miles per hour, so Emily still a very dangerous Category 3 hurricane. Again, the storm surge 4 to 8 feet down here, particularly on the Albemarle and the Pamlico Sounds. The northerly winds around this storm have really piled the water up down here, particularly along the sound side of Hatteras Island as well as Ocracoke Island. We've had a lot of reports of some bad flooding in Buxton, North Carolina, right out there at Cape Hatteras, so we'll keep you updated on that. Again, here's the satellite vantage point as it continues to pull on off toward the northwest. Now, of course, we had a couple of Category 4 hurricanes in the last several years, Hugo and Andrew. Here's Dave Schwartz to compare that with Emily.